This is what PTSD does to our kids. Recall problems can carry over to not remembering important dates where things are left, and we think, oh, you're walking around like a chicken without a head. Yeah? And this is as they're growing up, even before we know what's wrong with them. When someone has PTSD, trust can be hard to maintain or reestablish. He may feel edgy and find it hard to relax, and may find it difficult to communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. There are so many negative thoughts spinning around in his head, it's not unusual to have low self-esteem and feel worthless at times. In addition, when we adults get frustrated at him about something, he feels that this thing that's bothering you is so insignificant compared to what I'm really going through. I'm worried about life and death. I'm worried about future, and you're worried about whatever that thing is. It's so insignificant compared to his real, true fears and worries that he begins to hate those things that cause you to not be happy with him. You're not happy with me because you're hassling me over this. I hate that thing that's causing you to hassle me when I'm in so much pain. And therefore he builds many shittas that are anti-social, anti-religious, anti-everything, anti-anything that was used against him to cause him pressure, to criticize him, to make him feel bad while he was suffering. It's like somebody has a bum knee, and you don't know that they have a bum knee, and you keep on telling them, come, let's walk, we have to go on the treadmill, we have to go to the gym. They will hate that. It will become a trigger. And all of this is happening without you even knowing what's wrong with your kid. Hopelessness comes along when it seems like nothing else is ever going to make him feel better. He's trying to get better. He's trying to work on himself. They're trying to get their life together. They tried so many things without you even knowing it. You only see when they fail. But you know how many things they did until that point, motivating themselves, let me try again, next week's going to be better. So many times that they fail and they feel like, I'm running out of options. Helplessness occurs when he feels completely terrified, overwhelmed, overpowered, or outnumbered by the enormity of the situation in which he finds himself in. He believes that he has no future, he has no way out of this problem, and he will never, ever lead a normal, healthy life. Your dear child may have some or all of these unwanted, dark, and confusing thoughts and emotions swirling around in his head all the time. And he may feel like he's drowning underwater and gasping for air to survive. And yet perhaps the most frustrating and painful thing is the fact that while he's going through all of this, nobody around him understands what he's going through at all. This can go on for years, where they feel like they're dying inside, they're struggling, and everyone's busy with their own life, and everybody just sees, come on, why can't you get ready? Come on, why can't you go to school? Why don't you remember? And they don't even understand what he's going through. And that causes them to lose hope in us, to lose hope in society and in the world, and to continue feeling more and more different than everybody else. In fact, all they really see is that we look at them as lazy, selfish, not thinking, not sharp, not smart, not caring, not helpful, which the saddest part is the exact opposite of who they really are. These are really thinking, caring, helpful, wonderful, sweet souls that would do anything to make you happy. And by the time they're struggling for a couple of years with what we're going through, our conclusion is the exact opposite of everything that they really are. When they know how you feel about them, it is the most frustratingly painful thing in the world, and it makes them want to die. Psychological trauma can leave your child struggling with upsetting emotions, memories, and anxiety that just won't go away. It can also leave him feeling numb, disconnected, and unable to trust anyone. When normal bad things happen, it can take a while to get over the pain and feel safe again. Normal bad things that any normal person gets over, for them it could be a major problem because they're already dealing with so much. It's interesting because all the kids on the street trust each other. And they all say, don't trust any adult. Why? Because they understand each other. They've all been judged wrongfully by all the adults in their life. So they feel those people out there, right, with all their success and their cars and their homes and everything, they don't understand us, they don't trust us, they don't like us, and they don't have our best interest. Why? Because when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, all those years, and I said I don't want to go to school, Mommy said, you have to go to school. When I said I don't want to go to camp, Daddy said, you got to go to camp. I don't want to go on the bus. He said, you have to go on the bus. And Rabbi said, this is not because you're bad. It's a trap from Hashem. You thought he's a regular kid. Regular kids, you say, come on, you'll be fine. You push them to go. Ask every mother. Your kid doesn't want to go to school. You either carry them on, throw them on the bus, right? Or you bribe them, or you give them a lolly. You get that kid on the bus. Otherwise, you're out of business. Every day, you'll have 8 kids at home not going by bus. After the kid's on the bus, you go home, you have a coffee. I did well. My job is done. But if there's a kid who didn't want to go on the bus because he's being bullied on the bus, if there's a kid who didn't want to go on the bus because there's an older boy that's playing with him on the bus, you have no way of knowing. And you give the same treatment. We're not Nevi'im. But from the child's perspective, this little kid is saying, Yan loy hamantem bi. Why didn't you trust me? I said, I don't want to go to camp. What do you mean? We already gave the deposit. Everybody goes to camp. It's not normal not to go to. We give him all the stuff. But if he's being molested in camp, or he's scared, or he has a reason why he can't go, we can't afford to trust him. So we're doing our best. But think about it from their perspective. They realize and they conclude, I can't trust Mommy. I can't trust Daddy. I can't trust adults. They have a different agenda. And especially if we ever pressure them in the name of Hashem. You can't go out like that. You have to this, you have to that. Then they realize, you don't care about me. You care about this Hashem guy. And I have so much pain in my life because of Hashem. There can't be a Hashem. I'm out. It's not because we're bad, but I'm here to explain to you how they feel. So when normal bad things then happen, and we're like, what's the big deal? Get over it. So you missed your ride. So you didn't, what's the big deal? It's such a big deal, it takes them very long to get over stuff. Because they have so much already happening in their mind. Anger may be lurking under the surface, and can be triggered even by small things, and burst out as rage. After the rage bursts out, he'll feel like a stupid idiot. He knows he got angry for no reason. He doesn't know how to act properly. And this will again trigger his deep sense of regret, shame, and hopelessness. I don't feel like I can actually be out there in the world. I don't know how to act well. I don't know what's wrong with me. If we understand all of these makas, the 10 makas of PTSD, we can now begin to understand that PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is a horrific illness that your child may have been suffering from for many years due to the damage done to his brain from the actual event and from all of the above feelings that come from being traumatized. As the famous saying goes, PTSD, it's not that the person is refusing to let go of the past, rather the past is refusing to let go of the person. May Hashem give all of our traumatized souls suffering from PTSD a refuah shalema b'karev mamish. I wrote this. What do you think I do all day? And that's what TP does. TP rebuilds safety. You can be safe around us. You don't have to dress up like somebody else. You can be you. Don't dress up. Don't dress, just be you. It rebuilds the safety. It rebuilds every single piece of PTSD. And this is what we did by accident. This is what we're doing by accident. These kids feel unsafe. You can be safe around me. But I bashed up the car. I love you more than my car. I don't trust anybody. You can trust me. You're not going to turn on me? I'm not going to turn on you. But I did such a terrible thing. Fill in the blank of the stuff that your kids do. Some of it is very, very bad. It's temporary. Look 10 years from now, our kids recover, Be'ezus Hashem. I trust you. I build up trust. The time that you build up trust is when you're the most disappointed and the kid needs something from you that you don't think you can do, and you say, I trust you. When they mess up, like so many speeches we have about that, you can repair the ripped out trust inside of them. Deep anxiety and worry. When you're having fun with your parents, the anxiety levels go down. We have so many kids who are on medication. Look at them a few years after TP, and they're not on medication anymore. It's unbelievable. Feeling insecure and different than everyone else goes away when everybody's putting their arm around you, and they don't look at our differences. Everybody has a beard and payas, and you come in without a beard and payas, and we don't notice. Everybody at the Shabbos table is wearing clothing, and you're not, and we don't notice. We take away the feeling of insecurity, feeling different. The chap is that once you feel like everybody else, you actually start acting like everybody else, because it gets repaired. Being numb to feelings, feeling emotions, and spiritual connections. When you're having pleasure, the opposite of pain is pleasure. There is no trauma center in the world, there is no treatment method in the world that I ever heard of that says inject your child's brain with pleasure. Why not? They had 1,000,000 ounces or whatever, we have to think of a word for it, of pain, of thoughts of negativity and worry and pain and depression. Why not give them pleasure? We had a father that came here. He said, my son is suicidal. So I said, listen, the regular world will tell you call 911. I'm not arguing with them. I don't want him, I don't know, chas v'shalom, I don't want to take responsibility. He says, I don't want to call 911 because every time we did that in the past, it made him worse. So what should we do? I said, well, go to Disney World. Nobody kills themselves in Disney World. He booked a flight, he went to Disney. It's not a joke. It's 9 years later. The kid is alive, happy, stable. I have a picture of the family. Now, I'm not going to tell you everybody who's suicidal should go to Disney World, and someone's going to say, hey, it didn't work, chas v'shalom. But when you go before they're suicidal. Don't wait for them to be on top of the building. I got a call last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. Typical text, can we talk? I sent back my standard. Hi, I'm sorry, I'm only available if it's pikuach nefesh, and da-da-da. Is this your situation? I'm not a parent. I'm 21. What's going on? I want to kill myself. So I took the call, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't deal with kids anymore. I'm not trained. I'm not doing that. I'm working with parents. And I don't deal with girls or women, ever. So I spoke to her for an hour just to get her not to kill herself. I found a Rav that she knew that she once spoke to. I hooked them up. She said, I'm staring at my pills. I already tried swallowing last week a bunch of them. It didn't kill me. I'm ready to do it. Why should I live? Why should I live? She's from. She's in Beis Yaakov. She goes, if I go and take my skirt off, everyone's going to understand to treat me nicely. I don't want to do that. I'm from. But I want to die. Tremendous pain out there. Tremendous, tremendous pain out there. If we can fill their brains with pleasure, they don't want to die. A deep sense of loneliness. We know what that's like. We have kids who are in a room for 2 years. We have kids who are all alone for years. But when you're going on flights and you're putting pictures out there on Facebook and whatever, oh, I'm in Cancun with my mommy, I'm out with my friends and my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, my uncles, that's why we meet the whole family. Then you take away their sense of loneliness. Why do they feel lonely? Because they don't look like us. We're so foolish. Because now they're not sneers and they don't look like us, we're going to make them feel lonely. That's not going to bring them back. So we bring them in. Even if they act, adarabah, the more crazy they look and act, the more chavershaft they need, the more they need to be brought into the circle. You parents are unbelievable. When you make weddings and you dance with your kid in the middle, even though it looks like the whole family's dancing and all of a sudden there's a waiter right in the middle, and you don't care, because this is your kid. And then they don't feel lonely. And the regret stops. The shame goes away. The disconnection from Hashem, all of a sudden, years later, they forget that they're not from. All of a sudden, a bracha slips out. Amen slips out. Because they're not in a war with anybody. This helps the self-esteem, the self-loathing. It takes away the hopelessness and the helplessness, as we've seen, and as is Hashem, that's our medicine, that's our treatment method. And that's what Home Sweet Home did by accident, where we had every kid come in, and we by accident, just by making them feel like you're amazing, VIP, go out every night and have fun, the kids turned their lives around. It's mamish amazing if the world would understand. No, still go to the rehabs. I'm not against that, but what's the success of the rehabs? What was our success? And yet people will open up more and more rehabs. Why aren't they opening up more and more Home Sweet Homes, which had a model that had 100% success rate? None of our kids ever went back to the street. None of our kids are hoodlums. None of our kids went back to drugs. None of them went back to be a drug addict like when they can. We had a kid who came to me, who was doing cocaine. That's bad. Besides for weed and not frum and all of that, cocaine. He moved in September 4th, 2004. He's now married. He's frum. I have a cousin of mine that he told me he got a job for this guy in this industry. That's his boss. My cousin is working for my Home Sweet Home kid from 15 years ago who has a big company and he has a wife and kids and he's frum and he's clean and he's a boss. We have Baruch Hashem, we have a chat at Home Sweet Home, we have Nachas, we have Einekluch. And most of the kids also left the program frum. Almost 100%, like 95%. So it's all together. Yismach Leiv Mavakshe Hashem. So by accident, we treated PTSD. How do you treat PTSD? TP. And the sad part is that so much advice that other parents are getting ignores all of this, because the kids will still feel hopeless and helpless and full of regret and shame and lonely without TP. And those parents also love their kids, but they're told, love them, but don't accept them, but don't support them, but don't encourage them, but don't buy them, don't supply. But their problem of PTSD remains fully. Even if you're nice, in my house you can't dress like this. It's like they got hit by a car, but in my house we don't go with a wheelchair. You understand, for the other kids, I don't want them to all end up in wheelchairs. So please, for the sake, Bobby's coming, she's going to have a heart attack if she sees the way you dress. So please, you understand. The way that they're acting, their lack of tznius and normalcy, is because of their machla. You don't heal the machla by controlling the behavior. And that's the mistake of the world. They think that they're bad, and you have to control them. Heal them. Heal them with your closeness, with your NKN, your nafshik shur benafshe, with your fun, plugging their life with tremendous fun. They want you. They want to have fun. First step is to get the relationship so they'll go with you, and the second step is as much fun as you could possibly do, without advice, without criticism, without anything. Just nurture the piece of them that's broken, the PTSD. Hashem should help all of your kids should have a refuah shlema. We should have a tremendous amount of Yiddish and Achas from all of them.